This is Dr. Jeff Phillips, a dentist from the small community of Bainbridge Island, Washington. Jeff grew up climbing and exploring the mountains around the Pacific Northwest, and in the past few years, he has fallen in love with Nepal. I work as a mountain guide, so he contacted me last year with an idea. He wanted to volunteer his services to the people who live in the Khumjung Valley. With my help, he shipped dental gear across the world, coordinated with dozens of people, and met each new challenge with optimism and energy.
I had an opportunity 2 years ago to go and do some volunteer dentistry in and around Pokhara and Kathmandu, then expanded a little more the next year. And I love the country, absolutely magical. The people are so gracious and welcoming. I knew that I wanted to get back, but I didn't really know when. So we decided to go to Khumjung, and we did this after the 2014 avalanche, which killed 16 Sherpas while they're preparing for their Western clients. We decided to focus on supporting the Sherpa community in Khumjung, inviting smaller Sherpa villages on different days to come to our clinic, which was in the first Hillary School that Edmund Hillary sponsored after his 1953 first summit of Everest. The journey to Khumjung is a journey of several modes of transportation. The first bit is flying from Kathmandu, taking a 40-minute flight to Lukla, which is the renowned world's most dangerous airport, landing uphill and beginning our trek at about 9,000 feet. The trek from Lukla to Namche is certainly a distance of maybe 20 miles, but during that you're acclimatizing. So to go fast isn't necessarily a goal at all, rather just keeping pace, getting into the rhythm of the trek, really admiring the amazing geography that you're traveling through. It was just Charlotte and I going up to set up the dental camp. Charlotte came up, seeing that everything was in order, and then she went back down to pick up Nick, our cameraman, and Ivan, my friend who had assisted me in previous dental trips.
Dr. Phillips, I presume.
Hey! Awesome! We were very fortunate to have a great school and a great room in Khumjung, and there was 24/7 electricity, which is extremely rare in Nepal. Even Kathmandu and Pokhara have roving blackouts throughout each and every day, which really are random and pretty frustrating when you're expecting to have some electricity. But I believe it was a Scandinavian country that helped put in a hydroelectric dam down below, and so this year brought an electric dental light as opposed to having our headlamps. Each of the first 2 years, we were in different schools each day, and we would go set up in either an empty classroom or a couple times in sort of covered recess areas. Primarily did exams and extraction. The translator asked for pain, and if there wasn't any pain, we looked around the mouth for any pus, which was pretty prevalent, sadly. Because of the experience of the last 2 years, I knew that we wanted a dental group of about 8 people, which would include someone on the outside of the door, someone on the inside of the door to control the noise and the number of people. The third-year dental student was Nima Sherpa, who grew up in Khumjung and was just marvelous.
No, he doesn't put out. Maybe it's a gas.
She got the flavor of what we were doing to her village. She really enjoyed the flavor of the volunteerism, and I suspect she would be a great ally in the future. 17 and 32.
She has a pain at the front side, and when she crosses, she has sensitive all over the tail.
We had registration, and Nima Sherpa had a nurse friend, so she invited her friend to come down and be our registration person. Once again, a medical-oriented person. She knew most of the villagers. She helped with blood pressure on the adults, and it was just a great group. Early mornings were glorious, especially if we had a chance to get up before sunrise. Seeing the sun sparkling on the tips of the mountains that were all around us was fantastic. This is Kanchi Sherpa, who lost her husband, Cheering Sherpa, in the 2014 avalanche. Kanchi Sherpa, along with her 2 children, live in her sister's house. The house is very basic. For heat, they're burning yak dung, which has been dried on the rocks in the sun and then stored for the winter. Supporting Kanchi and her 2 children was really the reason we were there, as well as helping other people of the Sherpa community. We taught one of our dental volunteer students to give hygiene instruction, and each patient left with a toothbrush, toothpaste, and an instruction sheet that had been translated into the Nepalese. The first year, we were in a remote village, very high up, where there weren't any gas stoves. So the ladies put 3 slender vertical rocks together and got a wood fire on the ground, and lo and behold, the sterilizer was steaming off for the 15 minutes. So very primitive, but we were sure that we got the job done. Khumjung was fabulous because of the electricity, and so we were able to use electric stovetops to get the sterilizers, which were pressure cookers, working. Ivan was a great help. He was a lifelong friend from Tacoma, and he was the sterilization guy. When I had the opportunity to go to Nepal for the first year of volunteer dentistry, I wound up taking all of my own equipment. We had some funding from the Duncan Rotary, which was excellent. And the second year we had even more. Primarily, we're self-supporting, and we pay our own airfare and accommodation and food and that. But the transportation of the equipment and that was very nicely supported by Duncan Rotary, which I really appreciate. So we have a bit of a dilemma here, and this woman had a new denture made in Kathmandu 2 years ago. She can't even get down to Namche, which for any of us would be a 2-hour walk, but because of the crutches and her condition, she's not going to do it. So we're going to outline where all the bad tissue is, and we're going to use a multi-tool like a Leatherman to literally cut away the irritating plastic, and it'll be better than nothing. My friend Ivan polished up the rough edges, and the next morning when she greeted us, she was just delighted. Yeah, good. Excellent. Great set of teeth. No apparent cavities. Here we have a monk from a local monastery, Kunde, and he has on his wisdom tooth, on his lower left, the crown of that tooth has totally decayed. We don't have any x-ray equipment. If we had a portable x-ray device such as a Nomad with a sensor and a laptop, we could exactly identify the root fragments that are left. I can't do sort of an exploratory without x-rays. I would like to start inviting other dentists, and I believe that we are going to need to align ourselves with some type of a nonprofit. There are some possibilities. There's a group in New Zealand called Smile High that we made contact with this year, and we're in talks with them, and I think something will come of that. I think it'll be a very synergistic joining together. We decided to do an activity after the dental camp, and it was great. And it would be something that we might offer volunteer dentists after they put in a week or so doing dentistry, to give them a treat of a really spectacular trek. From Khumjung, it's a 5-day trek to Everest Base Camp, which is a spectacular trek. And if a dentist would be more adventurous, there are some 20,000-foot peaks that are also available. The country is so magical. It's so beautiful. The people are so kind. It's a seemingly very safe environment. Buddhist culture is so gentle and kind. There's an incredible need in Nepal for dentistry. There's nearly 30 million people in Nepal, and there are 500 dentists. It would be fantastic to have North American dentists volunteer to come over at their own expense, volunteer to do dentistry, and then really by taking a trek afterwards, it's an appreciation of the wonderful country, and it also is employing people, which is giving back financially. So it's truly a win-win situation for a dentist going over, stimulating the economy with supporting the trekking industry or climbing industry, depending on the interest of the particular dentist, and doing the volunteer work with eliminating pain and infection. Pretty fabulous.